The NBA regular season is officially over. And hopefully for the Golden State Warriors' sake, only one game remains in the season total, and that's going to be the play-in game on Wednesday night. The Golden State Warriors are not going to leave town. They're going to stay in L.A., at least according to the broadcast crew. They're going to spend Monday and Tuesday like a training camp and then play the Clippers again Wednesday in a city, a region, an arena that they haven't won in since November of 2021. But the game tonight is not going to be the focus of this show. Well, we'll talk about it, but I've got some news to drop for you. And if you were a part of the previous program, if you watched or listened to the show we did on Friday, I broke some news, and then my source came back to me and said, you did not do that good enough. You did not emphasize that this is something very real. This is not just speculation. So let's talk about what a source of mine has revealed pertaining to the Golden State Warriors coaching staff. If you want to join the show, as always, we welcome the audience. We'll preview what's to come for the rest of this week. Warriors Clippers Wednesday. Play-in game yet again for your Golden State Warriors, and maybe some good news coming in just a moment, depending on how you feel about certain individuals that are a part of the Golden State Warriors organization, more specifically, the coaching staff. The program is powered by FanDuel. I'm soon going to be also mentioning that the program is also brought to you by Sunrun. We'll get into more details about that very soon. Excited to have some new sponsors, and they might not be the only one. Right as the season ends, we start to get these sponsors. But I think more importantly, from my perspective and my viewpoint, this offseason is the start of a turnaround, the start of a potential rebuild, the start of fresh beginnings, and finally some goddamn optimism pertaining to your Golden State Warriors. And you may or may not understand what I'm talking about. I'll provide some clarity in just a moment. The program, it's called the Golden Days. Hey now. Let's go. Yeah, let's go. Welcome to the program. My name is Cyrus Saatsaz, your host for the evening, coming to you live from the Golden Days studios in Northern California, more specifically, beautiful West Sonoma County. You can follow me on Threads and Instagram at Dogwild. Over on Twitter, my handle is at Surf Journalist. The program on both platforms at Golden Days Pod. I mentioned just a moment ago we're powered by FanDuel, and I'm on the Sportsbook's website right now because I am dying to know how the odds makers feel about Warriors Clippers Wednesday. That line is not available, but something tells me it will be by the end of the show. The FanDuel Sportsbook does have lines already for some other NBA postseason action. For example, Charlotte's hosting the Miami Heat in a play-in game. I believe that's going to be played on Tuesday. No, forgive me. That game's actually, yes, Tuesday. Yes. Okay. Got that confirmed. It's going to be the Miami Heat at the Charlotte Hornets Tuesday in a single elimination play-in game, and the Hornets favored in that one by 5.5 points. The other play-in game in the East is going to feature the Orlando Magic traveling to Philly to take on the Sixers, and Philadelphia currently favored by 1 point, courtesy of FanDuel. You could also bet, courtesy of FanDuel, on some game ones of the postseason. The playoffs formally begin on Saturday, and game one between the Cavaliers and the Raptors, Cleveland favored by 7.5. The Knicks and the Hawks also tip off on Saturday. The Knicks favored in game one of that series by 5 points. The Lakers are going to host the Houston Rockets. That game one more specifically, also Saturday. The Rockets are going to be 6-point favorites in game one of that series. And the Nuggets are going to host the Minnesota Timberwolves. Game one of that series, also Saturday. A whole bunch of action kicking off this Saturday. Postseason NBA basketball, my favorite time of year sports-wise. And the Nuggets favored by 6 points over the Minnesota Timberwolves. All those lines available on the FanDuel Sportsbook. And if you live in a state where you're lucky enough to enjoy playing with FanDuel, put your money where your mouth is. If you feel good about something, bet on it. And please bet responsibly. Make sure you only wager amounts that you can actually afford to spend. And I will be monitoring the FanDuel Sportsbook carefully so that we hopefully see a line soon for the Western Conference playing games, more specifically Phoenix and the Trailblazers. That's going to be your 7-8 game. The Clippers hosting the Warriors. That's going to be your 9-10 game. Those lines are not available yet, but they will be soon. Again, courtesy of one of our two title sponsors, FanDuel. The other one's Sunrun. Again, we'll get more into that on the program next week. Beyond elated that this show continues to grow, and it's going to grow for a long time, even with the Warriors being just an absolute just a mess, a shitty organization in its current incarnation. But despite that, this show, thank you, everyone, continues to do relatively okay, and we continue to grow. The news that I want to share with you, Palmetto Money saying, I'm glad this season is over. And if you want some relief, you don't have to deal with the homers who represent the Golden State Warriors broadcast crew ever again. Every remaining game is going to be nationally televised. That includes Wednesday's Warriors-Clippers play-in game, and that will be on Prime, I believe, starting at 7 p.m. Tuesday, we'll do a Lakers-Clippers preview show. Darian Vaziri, a.k.a. Dime Dropper, he covers the LA Clippers. He will join me. We don't have a time set yet on that, but and then Rick Barry is going to join me, I believe, Thursday or Friday, where we're going to do an awards show. We're going to call those the first annual Rick Barry Awards, because he's had ideas for years about how NBA awards should operate. So we'll have some new awards, some of the traditional ones as well. For example, Rick's always wanted someone to be named most outstanding player, so we'll name it on our program. We'll also have Eastern Conference and Western Conference MVPs. We're also going to have a price of admission award winners, meaning who wins the award for the biggest draw. Is it Victor Wembanyama? Does he already own that title? Stay tuned. We'll do that show later this week. But we start with the breaking news that I want to drop. And I mentioned this on the previous show that a source, and again, I know this sounds crazy, but it's very true in terms of what I'm telling you. This source is literally on the Golden State Warriors coaching staff. And what this source informed me is that they're not coming back next year, that this season is it. And when I first presented this information on Friday's show, I piggybacked it off a report that Logan Murdoch had published back in January, a story that he wrote right around the time that Jimmy Butler suffered the knee injury. And then Chris DeMarco had soon after that announced he's leaving the Warriors as an assistant to be the head coach of the New York Liberty on the WNBA side. And so Logan Murdoch wrote the story indicating that this could be the final season for the coaching staff, that various individuals are already looking ahead. And I got some pushback from my source saying, why are you bringing the Logan Murdoch story up? That has nothing to do with this. Cy, I'm giving you a scoop. This is happening. This has nothing to do with Jimmy Butler, has nothing to do with Chris DeMarco leaving. And what this source, again, they are literally on the Golden State Warriors coaching staff. They are one of Steve Kerr's assistants. And this source tells me that they are out, that Steve Kerr and company are not coming back next season. I'm just the messenger. Part of the reason why I'm not even excited about reporting this is because I don't want this to blow up and then Steve Kerr hears it and goes, who reported that? That Cyrus Saatsaz got? No, I'm coming back next year now. I don't want him to spite me. I don't want to be the victim of spite. So, but with that said, when you have this kind of information, you can't just sit on it. And especially when the source is telling you, broadcast this shit. I don't give an F. So here we are. And again, courtesy of a Golden State Warriors assistant currently on the staff, telling Golden Days that this is it, that they're not coming back next year. They're already checked out. They're burned out. The one thing I don't know that I did not press on was whether or not this is the Golden State Warriors ownership and front office kind of giving a nudge, or if this is Steve Kerr saying, I'm tapped and I'm out, I'm burned out. I don't know what the specifics are on that front. Something tells me we're never going to get some sort of a press release or news sounder announcing that Steve Kerr was fired, unlike Doc Rivers. That was announced today. Doc Rivers got shit canned by the Milwaukee Bucks, so he's out. But Steve Kerr, according to an assistant on the Golden State Warriors staff, will not return next year, and the rest of the coaching staff, all the assistants, are already looking for other opportunities, and they've been given a notice so they could look around. I saw some report somewhere that I think it was Danny Emmerman in one of his Steve Kerr blowhard pieces where he brought up that Nick Kerr would love to stick around. I don't know what's going to happen next. All I'm telling you again is just what one assistant, a key assistant, I might add, informed me, and how I got this information. It literally fell on my lap. I don't just, this is not one of those stories that I sought out. It just happens. Again, I've been covering this team for now 26 years. This show has some cachet. Some folks look at this program and think that's a good place to release information. That's what happened in this instance. And so here we are. But thank you to the source. And I pray that this information is valid. Again, it came from an assistant. And I hope that Steve Kerr doesn't change his mind out of spite. That's all I could hope and pray for at this point. So, but coming straight from one of the assistants, the coaching staff will bow out. Now, the question is when? The Golden State Warriors haven't won in LA again since November 2021. The Clippers did not play Kawhi Leonard tonight in a game that they handily handily is a strong word, but they were in control of this one from beginning to end. The final score for the Warriors regular season finale, 115-110. The final, Stephen Curry goes without saying, but it's a sponsored segment, so I will say it. Our FanDuel player of the game, the final one of the regular season. We'll have one more for the play on Wednesday. Steph plays 28 minutes, 39 seconds, 7 of 14 from the field, 4 of 9 from deep. Did miss 2 free throws. That was a little peculiar. I think it was his first 2 free throw attempts of the game, I think. And then you got into a rhythm after that, and then made 6 straight, I believe. What quarter was that in where he got his first free throws up? Was it the second quarter? I think it was the second. Yeah. So anyway, so Steph finishes 6 of 8 from the free throw line. Steph also adds 6 rebounds, adds 3 assists, adds a steal, adds a block. Did have 3 turnovers, unfortunately, but finishes with a game high 24 points, shoots 4 of 9 from deep. That's damn near 50%. And Wardell, Stephen Curry, if my source is correct, and again, my source being one of the Golden State Warriors assistant coaches, Steph's gonna have a new coach next year. So I'm riveted. This is all just phenomenally good news, which I hope and pray rings true. And Stephen Curry, our FanDuel player of the game. Now the Golden State Warriors are going to be again they're playing matchup. It is official. The Portland Trailblazers won their game against the Sacramento Kings earlier today. Tipped off at the same time as the Warriors Clippers. Their game finished first. Portland wins, so they clinched the 8th seed in the Western Conference. The significance of that being that if they lose their play-in game, which I believe is going to be on Tuesday at Phoenix, they will have one more shot to get into the postseason by playing the winner of the Warriors and Clippers on Wednesday. And then and again, if the Warriors lose, they hold on to their lottery pick. They're in the running for as high as the number 1 pick in the draft, if they somehow win Wednesday and then win Friday to get into the playoffs, their draft pick will fall to 15th and they will no longer be in the draft lottery. So that is the scenario presenting itself for your Golden State Warriors. I was trying to interpret what Diddle 444 in our chat writes, saying 1 more loss away. Let's effing go. Yeah, before the season is officially over. And maybe we could talk about the future of your Golden State Warriors and not just clinging to a tired, old, stale-ass present, which is going on. Riz 101's asking, when is the party? I like to wait until things are official before we have those kinds of discussions. I almost feel like if we start planning that now, I'm jinxing it. So knocking on some wood. And yes, I have a wooden desk. I actually built this thing myself once upon a time. We'll talk about that. It's going to be this summer, obviously. Weather will be nice. We'll pick an awesome establishment, and we will have a celebration once the dictatorship, the reign of terror is finally over. And then we shall see how the future goes. Food Fight in our chat saying congrats to the Warriors for finishing with a 37-45 record. Food Fight saying I want them to win twice so they can get trounced by OKC. I don't want that, just because besides the optics of Stephen Curry getting manhandled by OKC, that would be ugly enough. Talk about a diminishing of a legacy. I don't want to see that. And I don't want to see the Warriors drop 4 spots in the draft from 11 to 15 just because Steve Kerr doesn't give a shit about the organizational future. And all he cares about is just, I want to win. I don't know how to lose. Yeah, that's why you got shit canned as the GM, Mr. Kerr. That's why nobody misses you in Phoenix, Mr. Kerr, because nothing big picture exists in terms of your planning and execution. So anyways, I'll post the link now if anybody wants to come on. I'm going to guess this is a short and sweet episode. We'll play some sound if it's available. We'll obviously do an extensive scoreboard show today to reveal how the postseason picture is going to look. So that's on the agenda for tonight. And if nobody wants to come on, I totally understand that too. It's a Sunday night, April 12th. The regular season is over. The 2025-2026 NBA season is over. And we'll do a whole recap on it after the play-in is finished, hopefully Wednesday, as soon as Wednesday night. I really hope Wednesday night is when we can officially breathe a sigh of relief, exhale a sigh of relief over knowing that the Warriors did not screw things up by winning their play-in game. I need to see that before I feel good about things. But we'll do a recap of the season in the near future. But for now, let's bring Bad Ombre on the program. Ombre, great to hear from you. How you doing?
Hey, Cyrus, can you hear me okay?
Yes, sir.
I'm so pissed, man.
Why?
Okay. I'm trying to compose myself.
Please
so if I was Joe Lacob, everybody is gone. I'm talking about from the GM all the way down to the people who just do the videos. I'm cleaning house. As far as the players are concerned, Cyrus, it's going to be difficult. I know everybody loves Steph, and I know he's one of the greatest of all time.
Correct.
And I know he's got the 4 championships.
And put the Warriors organization on the map of relevance on top of everything you said. Like, the Warriors would still be a joke. They'd be like a Washington Wizards level joke if it was not for Stephen Curry. I will forever bow down to the man. Sorry to interrupt.
I know. No, it's okay. But I'm just thinking about this practically. Next year, we got to pay $60 million to a guy that may not play 55 games. And it's just like Armando said, you're grifting for these checks. But that's not why I'm so pissed, Cyrus. It was bad enough they lost to the Kings. And yeah, but then Malik Monk, Westbrook, and DeRozan didn't play, and they lost to the Kings. The Kings. I'm so pissed. I'm trying to stay composed. The Kings lost 15 straight games after the All-Star break, but they still had a better record than the Warriors had.
I did not know that until just now. So you're sitting here saying the Kings had a better second half or had a better final 2/3 of the season than the Warriors?
Yes, in 95, the dudes from 95-7 the game on the weekend are the ones that were talking about that, and I looked it up, and it's true.
Did they get fired after saying that? I'm kidding. Go ahead.
No, it's one of the guys. He's very critical. I think his name is Dan.
Dan Devone. Dan Devone's my guy. And truth is, before they snipped the nuts off the producers there, he used to bring me on his show regularly as a guest on 95.7 The Game. But they don't like honest messaging on that show. I'm relieved that they keep bringing Dan on. That is I like Dan a lot. Is what I'm trying to say. This is
the record breakdown. I think after the day, the Warriors should be 8-16, and the Kings should be like 10-16.
You're talking about since the All-Star break, right?
Since the All-Star break, the Kings won more games than the Warriors.
I'm confirming this right now. If that's true, that is utterly embarrassing, and all the more reason why the Brandon Pajemski cheerleaders should just shut their goddamn mouths and admit they don't know shit other than just being a cheerleader, because all this hype that we keep hearing for this kid when he can't lead his team to victories is outrageous, man. And look, if everything I said it does come to fruition, let's say Steve Kerr is out, this is all the more reason to believe that Steve Kerr spent this season just basically dedicating his last year to propping this kid up, because no one else would play this guy. And if Steve Kerr knows he's going to be out after this year, it is egregious how he treated Brandon Pajemski like a number one pick, with the minutes, with the treatment, and for what? For a gross losing record. So I'm looking at the speaking of records, the Sacramento Kings at the All-Star break had a record of 12-44. The Golden State Warriors at the All-Star break, I have to make sure this is what Dan Devone said is true, because that sounds crazy. So the Golden State Warriors at the All-Star break were 29-26. Since then, they had 8 wins since the All-Star break and 19 losses. So they were 8-19 since the All-Star break. The Sacramento Kings. So Bad Ombre, remember that for me, all right? So the Warriors were 8-19. The Sacramento Kings, 12. Oh shit, Dan Devone's not kidding. The Sacramento Kings were 10, got 10 wins and 16 losses. So Sacramento was 10-16. The Warriors were what again?
8-19.
Yeah, Dan Devone was right. Holy shit. That's embarrassing. And the Warriors were not tanking. They were actually trying.
They were trying to win.
Oh, my God. Dan, tip of the cap for that research. Jesus Christ.
And Jeff called this out in the chat side the other night. He said that Kerr is the only coach who would play Pods long enough for him to get 30 points.
Easily.
The second point I want
30 points in his second game ever, third game ever. It took Pajemski nearly 3 years, and you had these clowns like celebrating like that was a significant accomplishment. Unbelievable.
That's the second point I went to.
Yeah.
There was a second point I wanted to make. It was about Will Richards.
Please.
I agree with Julian. That kid is checked out, Cyrus. Did he score tonight? I didn't watch the game. Did he even score? So, when's the last time Will Richards scored for the Warriors?
Will Richard, who's been dealing with a sore lower back, played 20 minutes, 29 seconds tonight. And again, the same thing that we've been talking about every time Will Richard makes appearances. He look, 20 minutes and change is a decent chunk. It's almost half of a full 48-minute game. And to only have 3 field goal attempts, you might be right. It could be because he's checked out. And again, if Warriors media decided to actually do their jobs, we'd know why the field goal attempts were so minimal, like whether or not the coaches were instructing that, or if he's just in his head, or if he's checked out himself. Will Richard, again, just 3 field goal attempts, did not make any of them. All 3 were 3-point attempts. So you're right. He finished the game with 0 points, 2 rebounds, and an assist and a steal. I don't know why he only put up 3 shots, though.
Will, I know that you might not hear this, but if you hear this or your people hear this summer, get the hell away from this team. You're going to be out the league.
He can't, but here's the good news, Bad Ombre, because Will Richard is under contract with the Warriors for 3 more years after this season. But the fact that his contract is guaranteed, and maybe the players also know that the coaching staff is bailing after this year, it would explain at least partly why Draymond Green has been sticking up for Steve as much as he has, because he knows he's gone and he's thinking, like, what's the point in attacking this dude? And maybe that's why Dre has been going out of his way to, again, defend his coach. But if Will Richard was also aware of that, it wouldn't surprise me if in his mind he's thinking, this guy's gone, and then I can hopefully start afresh with someone new and maybe give him my all again. But he's on the team for 3 more years. I also thought it was peculiar, speaking of Draymond, in a game where Stephen Curry actually showed up, and in a game where the Warriors have 3 days off, 2 full days off. They don't play tomorrow. They don't play Tuesday. They don't play again until Wednesday night. That's almost 3 full days. Where was Draymond Green? I mean, he was a late scratch, but I didn't see him on the injury report, which made that even more peculiar. I thought that was funky. Anyway,
he probably is checked out too. And the last thing I wanted to say, man, I just kind of feel bad for Will, because he seems like a good kid, but he's just got the wrong coach, man.
Well,
something is going on. Something is going on with him and Kerr, and I think that I don't remember the last time he actually scored.
Well, and I'm not trying to be funny. In case you forgot, Ombre, and maybe a lot of people forgot this because this season has been long and trying, and there's been a million negative occurrences. But in case you forgot, Steve Kerr just snapped in an unhinged manner on Will Richard at Madison Square Garden, and maybe there's a correlation there. Because you're right. Ever since that moment specifically, and I don't know, and I can look at Will's numbers to see if he's been struggling before that moment, but on March 15th, the Warriors lost at the Knicks 110-107. And in case people forgot, Steve Kerr just lost his shit at Will Richard on a play where Brandon Pajemski was the guilty party, and then had to apologize for that after the fact when somebody had to apparently show Steve the video to reveal to him that, again, he was blaming the wrong dude. That was an ugly moment. And again, it would not surprise me if Will Richard ultimately checked out after that. I'm going to look up his game log to see if there is a correlation. Go ahead. I'm sorry. Yeah.
But Cyrus, that wasn't the first time. I think it was against the Magic. Will Richard actually hit a 3, but they showed Kerr on the sideline. He was furious for some reason. Do you remember that play that I'm talking about? Maybe
I don't remember. I don't remember it, but just from you describing it, I already it's so believable. It makes perfect sense. But I don't do you remember what game that was when
I think it was. I want to say it was against the Magic.
Okay,
it was
when you said that. I'm sorry. You're right.
I want to say a mid-tier team. But like I said in the chat on Friday, the Warriors, to me, they're like the Bulls of the West, but with the worst coach. That's the only way I can describe them right now.
Well, again, hopefully, we're going to get a new coach, and then we can maybe start to see some real change here after the season. And I'm looking at Will Richards' game log right now. That Orlando game was a long-ass time ago. They played the Magic last... Can't even find that game. It was all the way back in December. And the first time they played Orlando was back in November. I'm guessing it was the November game.
I think it may have been then. I think it was then. And he hit a 3, and Steve Kerr was acting like it was like the worst thing ever. This kid making a shot. So hopefully, Lake Up. I know he's not going to listen to this, but you got to blow. You never know.
I've learned quite a few things, Ombre, in the last few days. Besides that nugget of Steve Kerr information, I also was made very aware that the Warriors, and I've said this before, but I didn't realize it. It was an interesting thing to hear that the Warriors organization is very aware of us, and
They are.
you listen far more than even I expected. It was part of the reason why this information was given to me. I'm not sitting here saying the Warriors like this program or like me. I have no idea how they feel, but they are aware. You'd be surprised. And people, again, Sharia has been on the show conveying this message. My mentality is always, there's people in the chat. That's the whole audience. Like I just don't have it in my own approach into thinking that there's like thousands of other people out there checking this thing out. But they might ask. So what's your message? Because you never know. It might get to them.
My message is, even if it's just for 1 year, you don't have a choice. You have to blow the whole thing up. And damn, even if that means you have to get rid of Steph, because the Warriors are doing the opposite of the rest of the NBA.
Yeah.
The NBA is getting younger and athletic, and it seems like the Warriors want to get older and unathletic. So
and
the only thing I'm really
another thing, Ombre, real quick, another thing that I thought stunk about tonight's game was Guy Santos not starting. Like,
it doesn't make any sense.
One of the lone good stories for this team all year.
Yeah.
And after the Jonathan Kuminga trade, he becomes a starter. He puts up consistently solid nights in terms of production. He's putting in the work, and he's not even on the injury report for tonight's game. So he's been dealing with this pelvic contusion. He was all cleared, and the starting lineup for tonight's game was Steph, Podziemski, DeAnthony Melton, so a 3-point guard lineup, and surrounded them with Al Horford and Kristaps Porzingis. So 3 hobbits and 2 big old stiffs. And that's the Steve Kerr experience for you.
I'll tell you what, one thing I am looking forward to seeing next year, I cannot wait until Pods is barking out orders to Jimmy Butler and telling Jimmy where he needs to be on the court. I can't wait to see how that's going to turn out.
Well, hopefully we won't see that, because there'll be a new coach and they'll immediately realize that the Podziemski minutes are absurd. Like, they make the only thing about Podziemski and that I kind of understand Steve Kerr's a reason. When I say kind of, I mean like 10% understand it, is the availability, right? The dependability. Podziemski, side note, got like a knee to the quad tonight. I saw some cynical folks out there. When I say cynical, I'm not saying they're wrong, but I just think it's highly unlikely. But some cynical folks out there were saying, there's Pods again, like faking an injury to excuse a missed layup. And again, I'm not saying they're wrong, because we don't know, but Pods took himself out for a moment. With that said, despite that possession, Podziemski's availability and his motor, like, he's always running and hustling, and I get that. I get why Steve Kerr likes those things about him, but you also need talent. And I think Frank Red, I agree with Frank Red's sentiment that Steve Kerr just sees himself in Podziemski and has this favoritism, but favoritism is not good leadership. It's shitty leadership. It's like the antithesis of good leadership.
It's horrible. The last thing I want to say is I don't think this is really on the players. This is on the coaching staff. Bob Myers was a great GM. Mike Dunleavy should have never been hired. They should have hired Ansi, who will probably is going to win Executive of the Year.
Good call.
Don't shoot the messenger, people. But I was thinking about the Summer League from 2022, that roster. Ryan Rollins, Lester Quinones, Moses Moody, Kuminga, and Wiseman. You had the players, Warriors. You just didn't develop them. Yeah. Those 5 players I just named are damn sure better than half the roster we have now. So I'll just leave it at that. And I'll sit back and listen to the show.
All right, brother. And
great show as always.
How was life for you before we let you go, man? Everything good besides?
Everything's amazing. But like I said, this is just frustrating because I'm a fan, but I can't really watch the games because this is not an NBA product and nobody wants to see it. This isn't an NBA product. The Kings have a better record than the Warriors since the All-Star break. That's all you need to know. So
that's crazy. I still can't get over that.
Dan Devone, he's the one.
Warriors after the All-Star break, 8-19. Sacramento after the All-Star break, 10-16. Make that
and the
make
team's
sense.
lost 15 straight, Si.
That's crazy, man. Side note, Doug Christie retained as Kings head coach. He's back for another year. I don't look at the Kings the way I do at the Lakers, meaning like I don't have the sports hate for them. I almost pity them, and that pity is just growing because I'm confident that zero Kings fans wanted that. I'm confident. Like maybe you'll have the outliers, but if you had a survey of Sacramento Kings fans and the survey question was, "Do you want Doug Christie back next year?" Yes, no. I think 99.9% of the vote would go with no, and you'd get like a 0.1% with a yes, and all the no's lost today because Doug Christie's back as head coach. Unbelievable.
Did they fire their GM? Did they fire their GM?
Did they?
No, I was asking.
No. I don't know. I don't think they did. I didn't see that.
Because why would you fire Mike Brown if you were going to trade Fox anyway?
Right. Again, it's just incompetency. And I will always prefer my incompetency, organizationally speaking, in professional sports, to be at the coaching and or front office level and never at the ownership level. Because if your owner is incompetent, you're effed. You can't get rid of your owner. You're screwed. You're just literally like sinking in quicksand with no help. You're cooked. And that's where the Kings are at right now. Vivek can make the argument Vivek is the worst owner in the NBA, and there is nothing the Kings can do about that. It's really messed up outside of just not supporting the team financially. But I mean, who knows how long that would take before change could come. So Warriors fans, look, Joe Lacob lately, this has not been a good look for him. The blind support for Steve Kerr, but at the same time, maybe. I mean, I'm sure if I know about Steve Kerr bailing after the season, I think Joe Lacob also knows, and so maybe that's why there's been such a hands-off treatment. Is that they've all been aware that this is it, and so they're just giving him the kid glove treatment, going, okay, you're leaving us, and we don't want to burn this bridge. Steve's going to be back, I'm sure, all the time to get the acknowledgement from whatever. Like, it's the 5-year anniversary of this championship. Steve Kerr joins us today. You're going to get a lot of that, but at least hopefully he's gone, and then because can be Joe again. Please.
No, because what I'm worried about, they're going to say, well, Jimmy got hurt, and we can re-sign Porzingis on the cheap, and we may be able to get LeBron, so we're just going to run it all back. That's what I'm really worried about, but hopefully that won't come true. So, hopefully.
Hope so, too.
Okay, Cyrus, I'm going to sit back and listen. Great show as always.
Thank you, brother.
Have a good one, man.
You too, man. Thanks, Ombre. That is Bad Ombre joining us. Want to quickly mention Diddle 444 in all caps, writing that Bill Simmons said that if Brandon Podziemski replaced Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, the Thunder would still win 50 games. I saw that, and I think that's more of a slight to Podziemski than it is a credit. What he's basically saying is that the Thunder are so deep, you can put one of the NBA's worst players on that team and they'd still win 50 games. I think that's how you should interpret that, and not so much, hey, Podziemski can be on a 50-win team if he's on the Thunder. Like that's not what Simmons was trying to convey. What he was trying to convey is, let me give you an example of one of the lesser players in the NBA. And if you put that lesser player on this deep-ass Thunder team, they can still win. That was more the angle, and not so much that Podziemski's so good that he could just replace SGA and they're still good. I don't think that is what the messaging was geared toward in that regard. I think that's how I interpreted it. But because the Thunder are that deep, that the Thunder, they're 11 through 15 could arguably be a play-in team. That's what Simmons is trying to convey, is that they're just so deep that even if you took SGA out and replaced them with a mid-average at best basketball player like Brandon Podziemski, they can survive that. They can withstand the mediocrity and still pull off 50 wins. Is he right? I don't know, but probably not. But Hamza in our chat in all caps writing, notice when Steph comes back, everyone plays ass. And I think that's so much less to do with Stephen Curry and so much more to do with the inane rotations that Steve Kerr thinks is needed when Steph plays. Like, and again, if we had decent media professionals covering this team, we'd get answers to this shit. Like, we'd find out through questioning why when Steph plays, do you always have these diminutive lineups? Why is it when Stephen Curry plays, you always have to have either Brandon Pajemski and or GP2 and or DeAnthony Melton? It's like Kerr cannot help himself. And if we had just semi-competent journalists or just any journalist period outside of Anthony Slater, and even Slater should be asking these questions. But we would know what is going on there and why Steve Kerr thinks a whole bunch of tattoos.
I must have done about 100 miles.
Yeah, tattoo. Look, you're a nice guy.
Now we don't have to worry about Patrick.
It's the NBA. It's the NBA. We can't have dudes that are like 3 feet tall out there and expect success. It's one of the most backwards, most ridiculous notions I've seen in recent history. Let's go to Julian. Oh, and one last thing real quick. I saw in the chat, and I did not highlight it. Forgive me, but I saw in the chat, I think it was The Real Truth writing that the line is out, and I'm on the sportsbook, the FanDuel sportsbook now. Ooh, and yes, the Western Conference playing games have lines. And Julian Bashir joins us. And Julian, I'm going to start your appearance with a Guess the Line segment. If you don't mind, sir, I ask of you, in your humble opinion, and let's even do a little music to start it off here.
2, 1, woo!
All right, that's an intro for Guess the Lines. In your opinion, let's start with Portland and the Suns. What is your prediction for the line? What are the bookies? Who do the bookies think is favored, and by how much?
Let's see. Well, I will say definitely the Suns are favored.
Okay.
And let's say by 8 points.
4.5 is the line. The Suns are favored by 4.5 points to beat the Portland Trailblazers. You weren't that far off. 3.5 points is not bad. And then on to the main event, and that's going to be the Warriors and the LA Clippers. Again, this game's going to be Wednesday, 7 p.m. It will be on Prime. In your opinion, what is the spread for that game?
Well, I have to adjust my thinking since I was wrong about the Suns. Well, definitely the Clippers are favored.
Yes.
And I would say by 5 points.
Close. The sportsbook odds makers currently have the Clippers favored by 3.5. And if you think the Warriors can win that game, the money line is a shockingly low plus 140. That line is low, period. That tells me that, again, the bookies are not setting these lines based on what they think is going to happen. They set these lines based on public sentiment, meaning they think there's enough people in the public who would bet on Stephen Curry if the line is small enough, like in this case it is, plus 3.5. I personally would put my money down on the Clippers. 3.5 is a small enough spread. Who the hell knows? It's gambling. I'm not Nostradamus, but something tells me the Clippers are going to take care of business fairly easily in that game. I could be wrong. Yeah, G4M in their chat saying, like, you mean 13.5? Yeah, but no, it's 3.5. So if you want to make money, bet on the Clippers. Julian, how are you doing, brother?
I'm doing well. I'm just doing some construction right now. So I'm just
what kind of construction?
What are you building? Taking apart a bed frame unit and moving it to a different room and then going to reassemble it. I'm actually moving apartments within the same building. So
that sounds annoying.
It's better than moving outside of the building,
Well, it's better than being homeless. Yeah, but that's not I mean, if you're at that point where you're either or is homelessness or moving, I guess I have sympathy for you. That's not a good set of options to have. Like,
I think
situations suck.
Well, I did a bit of being a broker for the first time ever. So I represented the owner and got 3 new tenants in my building. And part of that is I'm going to be moving into a larger unit. So the only annoying part is just the transfer.
Okay. Congrats on the better apartment.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah, bravo.
So I was originally not going to get on, but Desirio and I think Hamza as well, they're on this thing. Oh, is Will Richard better than Pods and Will Richard's ass? And I'm glad Bad Ombre got on. So he inspired me to click the link because
what is Hamza and Desi saying? Are they saying that Pajemski is better than Will Richard?
Yeah, they said that he's better than Will Richard, but also that Will Richard is ass, and that's what the language they use. And I just wanted to hop on and give some perspective. And for people,
and the Warriors fans,
yeah,
what are these people going to do when Steve Kerr's gone? Yeah. Like, are they going to have any idea how to have like independent thoughts?
Yeah.
Now, Desi, by the way, is saying no. He's saying in the chat that is not what I believe. So, anyways, go ahead, Julian Cook. I'm sorry, I'll shut up.
No, you could definitely scroll up. Like maybe he's talking to someone else, but I was responding to him. But to the point. So what I want people to try to understand is that it's about chemistry and what works out there. So Pods might be a better scorer, even though he's not that good of a scorer. And his 30-point game was very unethical. It happened with 5 seconds left. I'm surprised there wasn't a brawl clearing, bench scuffle because of him trying to force a score. But long story short, Will Richard, and I brought up this point to you before, Cyrus, but I'll just bring it up again. When Jimmy Butler had to sit in the very last moment against Charlotte, he didn't show up. Steve Kerr inserted Will Richard. And what Will Richard does out there are the things that don't show up in a box score, at least when he's checked in. He's in the right spots. He's rebounding. So that game, they blew the Charlotte Hornets out by 20 points, and he had 11 points, 6 rebounds, 5 assists, 3 steals. So if that and Pods was on the bench. So I want everyone in the chat that thinks that to understand Pods was coming off the bench at that time, and they win the game. The very next game, they win again against Miami, 135-112, a blowout win. But he plays 26 minutes. Will Richard starts again, and he has 5 points, 7 assists. That's great. These are the things that are connecting the team, actually being a connector. And then he also had 2 steals as well. So his numbers don't pop off as far as points scored, but they got 2 wins in a row when he started. Guess what happened the third game? Steve Kerr takes Will Richard out the starting lineup, and he starts Podziemski. So Podziemski was they lose to the Raptors 145-127. So with Pods on the bench, they're beating teams by over 20 points. He inexplicably takes Will Richard out, and they blew a game by 20 points. So that's what I'm trying to hammer home here. It's not about the overall stat line that Pods puts up that you can compare people to. Because Will Richard, see, Hamza saying Will is ass. I don't know what you want from players. Not everyone's a 20-point per game scorer. Not everyone's going to give you 25 and 5. Just like Draymond Green doesn't do that. Draymond Green will give you 5 points, 6 rebounds, 8 assists, and it impacts the game. So right now, what we've seen from Will Richard of the last month, he is checked out, and it's human nature. And if, Cyrus said earlier, if your contract is guaranteed and you know something is changing next year, why would I do anything? Because when I give my best effort, when I score 30, when I start, when I get 6 steals, he's had 6 steals a couple of times this year, and I'm continued to be DMP'd, yanked. So, and everyone on that team knows Podziemski is not better than them. And they have to sit on that bench and see this guy get minutes and play over them. So it's human nature for him to say, you know what? I'm getting my money. I'm guaranteed next year. There's going to be changes. And you can see when he's out there, he's not dogging it, but he doesn't care about scoring. He doesn't care about driving. He doesn't care about, flicking the wrist properly and making the shot and so focused. It doesn't matter to him now. And that's just human nature. And you can't blame him because he's tried and he succeeded and he still was shot down. So And someone said, "Oh, well, the consistent minutes. You see what happened with Gee when he got consistent minutes. He started off slow, started off kind of shaky, and then eventually he found his way, and he became a great story for the end of the season.
Yeah.
And now we see him back on the bench. So,
and I don't think it took him that long either to kind of get his footing. I like Guy Santos. The moment his role expanded and he started to get minutes, delivered. Consistent double digit scoring, consistent rebounding numbers. Even the 3-point shooting wasn't bad. Let me look at his game log. So in the month of March, for example, so March wasn't a great month for 3-point shooting. It was 31.3%. That's not awful, but it's not good either. But he did average 15.9 points per game, 5.9 rebounds per game, playing 32.8 minutes per game in the month of March. In the month of February, also good numbers. He put up 15.1 points per game, 5.7 rebounds per game, averaged 30 minutes per game. And in the month of February, shot 41.3% from deep. And January is where the minutes were still lowered. And we saw this expanded role for him around February. But in January, just to give you some perspective as to how these numbers leapt, in January, 6.6 points per game, 3.4 rebounds per game, and he was only playing 17.9 minutes. And that's evidence that when you give players more minutes, yeah, they're going to put up more points. But Guy, at least he gives you size, and I think he does match Podziemski's energy level. But Podziemski is Steve Kerr's fave, and so that's where you see a discrepancy. And Guy Santos in the month of April, just 4 games, but 15.7 points per game, 3.7 rebounds per game. That number went down, averaging 30 minutes per game. So I like Guy Santos, man. I really like him coming off the bench. I don't know if he's an NBA starter on a good team, but I have faith in him being an awesome player off the bench for a great team. And
yeah,
that's it.
And the overall point is that all year, Steve Kerr has played the lesser talented players above others. So would Guy start on other teams? No. But for this team during this stretch, a game like tonight where Draymond is not playing, Guy should be getting his 25 to 30 minutes because he's earned it. He's earned it on this team, not another team, but this team. Same thing with Will Richard earlier in the season when I said, like, he earned something. He earned to be not just like, oh, well, you're a rookie and I got to play somebody. You play the best players. And and a lot of that mentality that I guess like the Kerr apologists or the ones that even in the chat that I said, okay, no matter how much is broken down to you, you won't understand. This is why they're 37-5. And I don't understand this hoops go pop guy that says JK 0-7 in the playoffs. Where are you getting that stat from? So you're muted. Sorry.
I'm muted. Sorry. Does that mean as a starter? Hoops go pop. What do you mean by that? Because JK, that's not his record. I mean, he was on the title team and he was starting games that season too. And I don't think they lost those games. So Hoops go pop is the person who wrote that. And that is just not an objective stat. That is not true. If you're, I don't know if you're talking about last year, but even last year, he did play in some of those games against the Rockets and Minnesota. I don't know. Elaborate on that. And then he adds you moron. So now again, if you're going to be like that, go F yourself. So what's Podziemski's record when he plays 30 minutes or more? I know he doesn't play 30 minutes or more in the postseason. I do know that Podziemski's been playing 30 minutes or more this regular season. I know against 500 teams or above, they're 1-12 since March 1st. So he can't even beat, like, the only teams Podziemski can lead the Warriors to wins over are tanking like Brooklyn teams, taking Wizards teams. Like that's a ridiculous stat.
Yeah, the fan base is very toxic right now.
It is very toxic. That section of it is toxic. Yeah, it's.
The other day I went to, I think, I'll type in Jonathan Kuminga's name on X just to see the latest, and some random person posted, Jonathan Kuminga is going to hell for what he did in February 2024. And I'm like, what are you talking about? So I was trying to figure out what games, what news story or something that happened around February 2024. Nothing I can find, but that's how toxic the fan base is. They're just, wishing whatever they were slighted, and they're wishing death and hell and demonic things. It's really crazy. And so for someone to say, come in a chat and you had to block them, but yet the fan base is really toxic. You should see the comments that are all over X. It's absolutely insane.
Yeah. Chosen, by the way, another Steve Kerr apologist. And I have no idea what Chosen's going to do when Steve Kerr is gone. Are your heads going to explode? Saying y'all swore Kuminga was going to show the world when he went to another team. Give it next season. He's 23 years old and he's on a minute restriction because of a knee injury. So are you not going to factor that in? I mean, it's just, I guess takes like these are so obviously biased. It's impossible to take it seriously because again, you're talking about a small sample size of a month and change, and you're talking about an injured player. You're ignoring the fact that half the game is played defensively. You're ignoring the fact that what's the Hawks record in games he plays for them? Like, were they like 13-2 or 14-2? Yeah. But you want to fit, bring up numbers when he's playing 20 minutes a night. It's asinine. I don't. Again, how can you take anyone seriously?
I respond to that because Kuminga can't win either way, and so the thing is that is Kuminga a star right now? No, he's not. But what the Warriors needed, and we saw that in year 3 when he was the third leading scorer. We saw it last year when you actually played him. And then we saw it in the beginning of this season when he was 17, 6 and 3 with his stats. That's not all-star numbers, but that's solid numbers for a rotational piece that can give you great defense and rebounding. And what we heard from the fan base is that he doesn't play defense. He has the best defensive rating on the Hawks. They said he doesn't pass. All his teammates and coaches said that his passing is elite, even though the assists don't reflect it. They say that he doesn't rebound. In 20 minutes, he's still giving you around 6 rebounds. So his per 36 numbers right now are 20 and 10. His per 36 are around there. And his 3-point percentage did fall off a bit, but it's still like around 38% for the games that he's played with the Hawks, and he said he can't shoot. So the thing is like, we weren't saying, he's going to be an all-star or anything, but how about this? Jimmy Butler told you fans, you're not smarter than Jimmy Butler. You don't have more basketball knowledge than him. He told you, in order for this team to start winning and take it to the next level, they need to figure out how to integrate Jonathan Kuminga into what they're doing. Doesn't mean that he was going to be a star. Doesn't mean that he's going to score 30 points per game. Hell, if he was scoring 12 to 15 points per game, that's better than anything else that's left on the roster. And the numbers that Gee and Pods and others that have put on during this run that is worse than the Kings are not reflective of their actual numbers. These are injured, riddled team numbers against bad teams, and someone has to take the shots, someone has to get the rebounds. But Kuminga would have given you 12 to 15 against all elite teams and given you great defense, but you refuse to do that. So I'm not dying on some hill saying he's going to be some superstar. What I'm saying is, at the very least, he could have been your OG Anunoby. At the very least, he could have been a solid rotational player to not have this mess that you're in right now, which is 37 and 45 and all of this inexplicable karma that's happening, injury after injury. Who knows what's happening, but it's horrible. And even if you get a lottery pick, I think somehow my biggest peeve with these haters right now is, in what world are we going to come to a conclusion on who wins and loses this trade now? Like the whole point of this trade, and why I believe fervently that the Warriors lost. First of all, are any of the Kristaps Porzingis fans still around? You all went quiet awfully fast. I mean, don't forget that that's who they traded Kuminga for. Secondly, he's only 23, and this season's been injury riddled. Last year, that ankle injury sucked. I don't remember injuries before that. This is year 5. I also said repeatedly that's the one issue of his that we don't know
could become a long-term concern, durability, but we never saw the minutes to ever remotely come to that conclusion because, again, as Armando Laura brilliantly said it once, you need the data to understand what reality is, and the data is just not complete there. All I can tell you is if you're coming to a conclusion now, you're gaslighting, or you're just literally trying to just bait people and you're trying to hate on anybody that does not have an opinion that's pro Warriors every single time. Chosen, I'm very disappointed that with your gaslighting takes in the chat. Now you're gaslighting, dude. I saw you write a post, Chosen, that said the whole world has come to this realization. What whole world? Like, well, where are you getting your information from, man? Like what, light years? One of the local radio stations? Like these guys are Steve Kerr homers. Of course, they're going to constantly spin this thing as in a pro Kerr light. But more importantly, why are you coming to conclusions now about this trade? This needs to be a decision. This needs to be a realization we come to like a year from now, when JK's only 24 and he's got a whole year under his belt. Let's judge it then. Never mind the fact that you gave him away for Kristaps Porzingis. How did that work out for you? Let's flip the table for a second and talk about what the Warriors got back. A guy, Pingus, his numbers tonight, he did play 24 minutes and 1 second. You know how many three-pointers he made tonight? Julian, do you have a clue?
I didn't pay
Zero. He was 0 for 4 from the three-point line. Remember all the shit talking about the Steph and Tingus pick and roll? Yeah, that's working out great. And now Tingus is being non-committal about coming back. Never mind the fact, does anybody want him to come back, especially if he's going to be asking for a lot of money? Let's flip the script and talk about Tingus. How is that working out for you, Steve Kerr apologists?
Hey,
Jesus Christ. You want to judge Kuminga based on a month and a half, 2 months? He's not even starting games. He's on a minute restriction, 20 minutes. Let's see what happens next year. Yeah. All right? If he's having a bad season by the end of next season, talk your shit. Okay, I think you have some validity at that point. If at the end of year 6, with a full season under his belt, with significant minutes, right? We still have not seen the minutes. He's averaging 20 minutes a game for the Hawks, and you want to judge him on that?
Cyrus, can I jump in? Because Chosen said,
yeah, please.
He says the trade is a lose-lose, and I don't understand that, because one team went from 5 games under 500 to 10 games over 500.
Yeah, how did the Hawks lose this trade? That makes sense. I mean, the only thing that matters in sports is winning. It is literally a competition. When you have a competition, there's only one objective: winning. Yeah. Meanwhile, the Warriors' number 1 minute getter, Brandon Podziemski, is leading a team to a worse record than the Kings. And that's who you guys want to brag about. I saw someone in the chat earlier ask, like, are you really putting this on Podziemski? He's getting the most minutes. He's the leader of this team, and they have a worse record than a tanking Kings team since the All-Star break. And the All-Star break is pertinent because that's when Podziemski's role drastically increased. Yeah. And he started leading the team in minutes. Yeah, and they have a worse record than the Kings? And that's the guy you want to defend? Jesus Christ, dude.
And for those who are saying that the JK is he's not the reason, but he's part of the reason. There's a reason why he's not hurting. He's not hurting anything. Yeah, and the change in the Hawks, like, how is Kuminga not helping? Yeah. Like, he's a sixth man off the bench, and the Atlanta Hawks went from a team that was going nowhere to they're now a playoff team. And you guys are just going to pretend like he's not doing anything? Let's say he's not even doing anything. His presence alone, I don't see how it's hurting. Yeah, that's like saying.
If you're like a Hamza type saying that he's just there, so then I guess his defense does not exist. Are you going to go back to being ignorant and ignore the fact that half the game, not a third, not a quarter, half the game is defense? And last I checked, when the Hawks beat the Celtics, Kuminga was playing elite defense on Jaylen Brown. When the Hawks beat the shit out of the Warriors, Guy Santos, we just praised a moment ago, is one of the few good stories of the season. He was held to 0 points when Kuminga defended him that game, 2 points total.
Yeah.
So he's not just there, Hamza. He's not just there, Desi. More importantly, for the Hamzas, for the Desis, why do you argue? Why do you have these weird-ass beliefs? Yeah. And when I say these weird-ass beliefs, I mean, you folks all believe that Steve Kerr is a good coach. These last 7 years should tell you otherwise. You guys think Podziemski's a good player. Being the leading player in a team that has a worse record than the Kings should kind of push back on that. Why do you believe this dumb shit? That's my question. Chosen, why do you believe that dumb shit? Why do you still believe that Steve Kerr is somehow shouldn't be held accountable? Why do you give him a pass to the end? I just don't get it, man. I'm not a beliefs person. To me, if you believe something, it should be based on a shitload of concrete evidence that leads you to forming an opinion that you believe in. Yeah. What the hell? Why the hell do you have these beliefs of that Podziemski is somehow a good player or that Steve Kerr is this great coach? It
absolutely
it's just ignorance, man.
And sorry, so those that are
beliefs, anybody can have a belief. Yeah, what?
No, so those that are stand firm in their stance on this.
Stubbornness, side note, is not a characteristic of an intelligent, open-minded individual.
Yes.
Stubbornness literally when I call Steve Kerr obtuse, stubbornness is one of the core traits of obtuseness. Let go of the damn stubbornness, man. There is a direct correlation between stubbornness and an intelligent quotient. That's what IQ represents, being low. Stop being such a stubborn ass. All right, Podziemski sucks. Steve Kerr sucks. And we don't know. I don't know how anybody can have a concrete conclusion about Kuminga. It's undetermined. He went to the Hawks with a knee injury. He's playing 20 minutes a game. They're winning almost all those games.
Yeah, he's off the minutes restriction now.
You want to somehow go out of your way to still criticize him? It's insanity. It's insanity.
Well, I was going to give you an analogy.
Desi's the king of just stubbornness, dude. I love that Desi and Chess the same thing for the other side. Really, what are we being stubborn about? Desi, what are we being stubborn about? What, Kuminga, who since he joined the Hawks, they've been a grossly winning team? When all that matters is winning, that's all that matters. All the other shit is worthless talking points. The bottom line is wins and losses. Hawks are winning.
Yeah.
Where's you losing? You're defending losers. You're attacking winners. You're dumb. It ain't complicated. Sorry, Julian, finish up.
Well, I was just going to give an analogy, and those that are firm on that stance, they're not going to get it. But
real quick, like Hamza says, Kerr sucks, Pot sucks. Kuminga isn't the reason the Hawks are winning. How do you know that? Okay. How do you know he's not a part of their winning? Based on what? What do you base that opinion on? Why have you formed an opinion that the Hawks are winning in spite of Kuminga? Based on what? Your opinion? Well, strongly agree to disagree. I think that opinion is backwards. I think if a player goes to a new team and they immediately start to just kick everyone's ass and you're going to ignore the impact of that player that they just acquired, I'd say that's a dumbass opinion. What are you basing that on? Jesus Christ. I'm just trying to fight narratives, man. I hate narratives because a narrative is just words going into space. It's not based on reality. It's based on what you want to persuade people to believe. And in reality, as Jeff Riggenbach writes in our chat, Hawks are 15-2 with Kuminga. Why are you dismissing him? Why do you dismiss his impact? Because you just want to win an argument? Well, that's immature. Are you dismissing it because, I don't know, what other reason do you have? I don't get it. And every one of you folks Chosen's the only one that thankfully at least comes to talk sometimes on this show, but I don't get it. I just don't effing get it. Anyways, Yeah, I think the Real Easy says it best. It's called trolling. And again, so why should I take any of these people seriously if they're just trolling? Maybe I shouldn't. Maybe that's the whole problem, is that I'm sitting here listening to these people and treating their words seriously. That's on me. My bad. I'm sorry. You're right.
Yes, yeah, so I want to get this out because it's your show, but I haven't. So I was just going to say.
Chosen saying now, going back to the 4-ring bullshit again. Like Chosen, if the Warriors did not get Kevin Durant, are they winning 4 rings? And if your answer to that is no, then stop calling Steve Kerr a 4-time champion as a coach when all he had were stacked teams. And if your answer to that is yes, what the hell do you base that on? What did Kerr do to contribute to those 4 rings, Chosen, that makes you constantly go out of your way to gaslight, to troll, to literally like extend arguments to support this man? Why, Chosen? Casey Jones won four championships as a coach. Do you revere him too? Hell, the dude won 12 championships, including 8 as a player. Do you revere him too? The 4 championship thing is one of the most exhaustingly just moronic arguments. When NBA coaches don't do shit to begin with, they can cause far more harm than good. And if you look at the last 7 years, 2020, worst record in the NBA. 2021, play-in team. 2022, Stephen Curry's a god. 2023, underachieved as a reigning world champion, eliminated in the second round. 2024, didn't even get out of the play-in. 2025, play-in team. And if Steve Kerr wasn't playing his stupid-ass games, they would have won the championship that year. Steve Kerr was literally responsible for the Warriors not winning a championship last year. And you just want to keep defending this guy. Desi, second round for a team that should have won the championship, underachievement, disappointment. Stephen Curry's hamstring injury, Steve Kerr's fault. Julian, finish up, man. It's just if I see these things, I can't just let it go. It's such. They're just so wrong. I have to address it. Finish up, Julian. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I would say the best analogy I can give right now is if you're thinking that Kuminga's impact is 0 on a winning team, then what do you say Andre Iguodala was to the Warriors during their winning stretch? Like Iguodala never scored more than 8 points at from 2014-15 on, but his impact on the floor was the inspiration to the other players, the passing, the rebounding, and the defense. So I do hope that Kuminga's prime is more than Iguodala, but no one's ever going to come here and say that Iguodala did not contribute to the 73-9 Warriors team. They're not going to say that Iguodala did not contribute to those 4 championships. So to dismiss Kuminga's impact when something like it's all about as soon as a trade happened, that's when they went on their run. Because one thing that Kuminga does is that he solidifies the rotations. There's a reason why Quinn played him 30 minutes against the Cavs, and he broke out. And he played following 23 minutes in a blowout win the following time. So you can see the playoff rotations, and he's chosen Kuminga as the main guy off the bench because he solidifies the rotations. So those that say, "Oh, he's not doing anything. He's just there for the ride." That's just statistically untrue. And I just want I want a smarter fan base to come in here. We don't always. And
by the way, smelly garage fluids. If you're gonna troll, at least do it accurately. I mean, there's some troll attempts that are just too obvious. Like he writes that Curry only has 4 rings and would have 0 without Steve Kerr. Well, Kerr has 10. No, Kerr has 9. And that's where you lost me, is at least be accurate if you're going to troll. And that's another premise, which again, the Steve Kerr, like fans, right? And again, you're a fan of a coach. Take a look in the mirror every time you think that thought in your head. Like, I love Steve Kerr. Go look in a mirror and then tell yourself, I'm a fan of a coach. A coach. They're not playing. He just stands there, barks orders. He literally, like, his power is deciding who plays and who doesn't. And that's who you're a fan of. Like, give me a break. Like, what does it say about you as an individual when you're literally putting a coach on a pedestal? Like, it's embarrassingly bad on your part to do that. It's insane. But but I also like one of the defenses of Steve Kerr is always, well, I mean, he came in and they won a championship. How do you know they don't win a championship if Mark Jackson stays? Like you look at the roster, like the roster changed between 14 and 15. The 14 team did not have Leandro Barbosa, who played a huge part in that title team. It did not have Brandon Rush, who did not play a huge part, but he was still an awesome role player for your Golden State Warriors. And they didn't have Sean Livingston. And if you're going to sit here and pretend like the 15 title team didn't need Sean Livingston, you're out of your mind. And you're definitely trolling at that point. What I'm trying to say is, how do you know that Steve Kerr was responsible for any of this? Like, for all we know, you add those three players to a Mark Jackson team, a coach who actually taught this organization defense for the first time in nearly 4 decades. Who knows? Maybe they win a championship. Maybe Mark Jackson's a 4-time coach.
And we also have to consider that Luke Walton's record when Steve Kerr was out. And we also have to consider that Mike Brown won a playoff series with Steve Kerr sitting out as well. So this team was so talented that you could have plugged and play anyone. And I said it in chat, maybe you wouldn't be a fan, Cyrus, but I would interview Luke Walton if Steve Kerr is leaving next year, because I do believe that Luke Walton did not listen to his dad. His dad told him, don't leave the Warriors. He said, why would you ruin a good thing? And I think that he just got some bad luck when everyone gets fired from the Kings. So we can't put that on Luke
unless you're Mike Brown. That's how bad that organization is. Dude, that is an awful shit show, man.
Mike Brown got fired too, right? So
yes, yeah, but that's what I'm saying. Mike Brown got fired, and he was leading that team to playoff runs. Like Mike Brown's team would have been in the second round in 2023 if Stephen Curry doesn't drop that Game 7 50 burger.
Yeah, and chosen.
Yeah.
Well, I want to say, because I've heard you talk, Chosen. You are a smart man. You said consider Luke Walton's record since, and I just said everyone gets fired from the Kings because the Kings are a bad organization, and Luke Walton got fired from the Lakers because they had a bunch of young players, and LeBron came in, and LeBron gets rid of the coaches that he
and if you're gonna do that and say, well, look what Luke Walton did with the Kings, look what Steve Kerr did the last 4 years. Yeah. You're gonna give that a pass?
Look at what Steve Kerr has done without Steph Curry. And
exactly. The cherry picking is insane. It's like, well, I'm going to cherry pick this date range. I'm going to cherry pick. It's crazy.
And Chosen, I'm not
Chosen. Do you like the man because you have children and Steve Kerr somehow is a better role model for your kids than someone else? I don't understand. I would have to sit down and have drinks with someone to truly understand the fandom of Steve Kerr, right? Like just how you're duped into believing that. Like my boy Paulie Mack, who is one of the biggest disappointments in my life. Like most of these KNBR hosts that I used to work with, they've ended up being just colossal disappointments. Individuals that I thought were friends, only to learn in hindsight that they were friendly with me because I was their producer. And as a producer, you just bust your ass to make their life easy. And then when you're suddenly on an even playing field with them, you see how they act, and oftentimes the pettiness emerges, or the ignorance, or the lack of cojones, a whole bunch of negative characteristics. But my point is, I had lunch with Paulie Mack about a month ago, and he sits there and tells me, "Oh, dude, my impression of that scenario is that Kuminga came off like a punk." And I'm like, what? I was like, what? And then when I followed up with him, I'm like, what do you base that on? He goes, well, I mean, if a player can't get along with Steve Kerr, it's got to be on them. And I'm like, Paulie, I'm like, what do you base that on? And he's like, well, isn't Steve Kerr just a nice guy? And I'm like, is he? I mean, what do you base that on? Like, because he came on your radio show like a few times a year, and then the more I started grilling him, the more he was like, well, I don't really actually know what's going on. It's like, no shit, you don't know really what's going on. And he, to me, was like a poster child of what's become systemic in terms of messaging and persuasiveness being effective on so many people. And this is where we are. It's like a shitload of people got duped into thinking that Steve Kerr was this amazing, like altruistic, huge-hearted, compassionate, like amazing guy. and all because he's soft-spoken on when there's a mic in front of him. Like, and I guess his politics, maybe because he's a Bay Area guy and he's liberal, maybe that resonates with some people. I don't know, but for a coach to have just won over all these people with the cult of personality, it's sad, man. It doesn't bode well for society as a whole when this many people can be this easily duped, like with a charm campaign. I guess cults have existed in this world for a reason, because persuasive messaging is effective.
Yeah, I just want to respond to Chosen when he said, look at the roster that the Warriors have had the last 4 years in comparison to Luke Walton. Who did Luke
the
Walton
roster that Steve Kerr created? It's his roster.
Who did Luke Walton have on the Kings? And his first year as a Laker coach, he got LeBron James, but it was all of those young guys that they traded. They had Michael Beasley and Tyson Chandler, who was going out the league that year as well. And so they had Lonzo, Brandon Ingram as like a young player that wasn't fully developed. And we all knew, everyone watching that Laker team when LeBron came over, they all knew that that team was not going anywhere. The first step was just to get LeBron, and then they were going to make some major trade. LeBron just didn't want Luke Walton. And lastly, I just said interview him. I didn't say hire him, because I believe that people get better over time. Like anyone in the chat, when you work at a skill, at a job for a while, you should be better at it. Luke Walton's still young. He is an assistant for the Pistons, the #1 seed in the East. I'm pretty sure he's accumulated a lot of knowledge the last several years being an assistant around the league. So what does it hurt to interview a man that has experience as a head coach and said, I'm taking a step back and pay my dues? How many head coaches decide I'm just going to go backwards and pay dues? Very, very few of them. He's paid his dues. I would say interview him just because he has familiarity. And last I'll say, then I'll drop Cy. If Steve Kerr really is gone this offseason, the Warriors will be looking for someone to still appease Steph Curry in his last year and still run an semblance of the offense that they have been running to get the most out of Steph Curry.
The good news, Julian, is every team runs that offense now. I was watching Mark Jones, who called his last game for ESPN today. And I hope that and Mark, hope you're doing well if you're watching. I hope we catch up soon. But I heard Mark Jones today, and he was calling. I think who did the Celtics play today? It was Celtics.
They played the Magic and the
Magic.
Hallelujah.
And Mark Jones going, and there's Jamal Mosley split action being run again, and I'm like, Jamal Mosley's run, so everybody's running this shit. That I don't think that's going to be an issue, Julian. The Steve Kerr motion offense is the NBA motion offense. Practically all 30 teams run it now, so I don't see that being an issue.
Well, with that Magic game, the Celtics played their reserves, and the Magic needed to win that game in order to have a home game in the play-in. They played all their starters, their full team, and hallelujah that they lost, because the Magic lost to the reserves of the Celtics. And by them losing, the Hawks now are going to play the Knicks in the first round instead of the Cavs. And I did not want them to face the Cavs in the first round. Just too much firepower over there right now. And too many.
So you think for the Hawks, the Knicks were the better matchup?
Yeah, definitely. I know some people are they always think of that, Harden's not clutch. Harden has only not been clutch against stacked Hall of Fame teams. But he's been to the Western Conference Final. He's been to multiple second rounds. He is a dynamic player. He scored 50 this year. He's a double threat. He makes bigs better. So him as a guard is still elite. They have Donovan Mitchell, who scored 70, who scored 50, who elevates his game in the playoffs. I did not want them to face that kind of challenge the first round. And also the Hawks are small when it comes to the front court. They have a defensive player of the year that can get you a double-double. And Jared Allen has been a former All-Star as well. So I do believe they're much better suited for a more competitive series against the Knicks, because as great as Jalen Brunson is, I still view him as a midget, and short people can be guarded. And also Cat. He is a threat, but he's also someone that you can rattle and get him uncomfortable. We've seen Draymond Green do it, and I only see the Knicks as two players you have to worry about. OG Anunoby and Mikal Bridges are solid rotational pieces, but when it comes to the Cavs, it was just too many problems for the Hawks to handle, and we saw it when they played.
What about Brunson? You didn't name. What about Jalen Brunson?
Yeah, I did. I said.
You said Anunoby and he said Bridges.
No. I started off with Brunson. Maybe.
Okay, gotcha. Okay, so
I said Brunson is a great
players.
player,
okay.
but I called him a midget though. I said you can. Yeah.
Yeah, but he's so good. He's so good with his body and with his footwork. Like he creates space for him. He's so good, man.
He's a great player.
Brunson's unbelievable, dude.
But midgets can be guarded.
And what about Cat? So you don't think Cat's going to be a concern?
No. I say they're less concerned. When I face the Knicks, I can say I can put a taller guy on Brunson, and Cat, I can deal with his impact. But when it comes to the Cavs, like the Cavs destroyed the Hawks. Their center Onyeka, he was a -33 in a 6-point game. Think about that, people. In a 6-point game, the center of the Hawks was -33 against the Cavs because their bigs are just too defensive minded and too rebounding minded for the Hawks. So when it comes to the Knicks, it's less problems. I can say I can figure out how to stay in front of Brunson, and also Cat. He's just a 2010 threat, but you can bait him into being a perimeter player, and I think that's why it's a much better matchup. So yeah, Knicks over. Actually, I think the Cavs are the best team in the East when they made that Harden trade, and I do predict that they'll make the Eastern Conference Finals. So I'm glad the Hawks have to avoid them the first round.
All right.
So, thanks to the Magic. For losing against the Celtics reserves. All right, go ahead.
Nick J in our chat's asking who picked up the tab. You or Paulie? We split it. We split the tab evenly. Any final thoughts, Julian, as we wrap it up?
No. I just said that the team you saw from the Warriors tonight, without Draymond, but that's pretty much going to be your play-in rotation. And if you could not win against a Kawhi-less Clippers team, when you pretty much had Steph Curry, Pods, Gee, Al Horford, Kristaps Porzingis playing, and you still lost Draymond Green and Kawhi, it's not going to really cancel each other out. So just expect the obvious. All right, don't get your hopes up. That's it.
I'm excited. I'm just excited for the playoffs period, though. These are going to be some fantastic series coming up. And again, we're going to be going live a lot all summer. We're going to be very active here. All right, Julian.
Is Chardot here? No Chardot.
I don't know. He mentioned that he had to do some work things, so maybe we won't see him tonight. But he'll always be around. If he's off for a night, I'm sure we'll see him soon. We'll do a scoreboard regardless because a lot of games happen tonight, and I want to address those. So
I drop so you don't have any interruptions. Take care. Sorry.
You too, brother. And congrats again on your new place. Do you folks like that? The chat being right there? Should I keep that up? Should I don't know. I'll leave it up for the moment. My virtual studio recently allowed me to expand the size of it. Before, like, you could only see it, and apologies for the podcast audience for not understanding what I'm talking about, but before, like, it was only available like that. Maybe it was more like this, but it was super small, and now you can, like, I can adjust it. And some people are saying it's redundant. Okay, so I'll turn it off. People don't like it. All right, it's off. All right, so let's go through the scoreboard, and we'll wrap it up on a night where the Golden State Warriors and the NBA season is over. And the next game is Warriors and Clippers. The Golden State Warriors are going to stay in LA. Oh, Chardol is here. Okay, let me send you the link. He got here just in time. I'm guessing we'll find out in a second how his call with 95.7 the game went. Always one of the things I want to check up on. All right, Chardol, the link is in. Let me see real quickly if any sound bites came down the wire that are worth playing for the show tonight. And if not, we'll jump right into the scoreboard. Congrats to the Clippers, by the way, the first team in NBA history to be at one point in a season 15 or more games below 500, and then to finish the season with a winning record. The Clippers did just that. They started the season 6-21 and finished the season, I believe, 42-20. Let me confirm that real fast. Let's check on the standings. The Clippers, yes, finished the season 42-40. So that is remarkable. All right, well, let's go check out the scoreboard as we start to wrap it up. And again, we'll be back on Tuesday with a dime dropper. He extensively covers the LA Clippers. We'll do a preview there. I think he also wants to make the case for Steve Kerr, and we might have a fun debate on that note. And then Wednesday it's going to be Warriors Clippers post game, and I hope it'll be the final game of the Steve Kerr era. That's my personal wish. With that said, I think it's time to go into the danger zone.
I'm a stay-at-home son.
All right, Shardal is with us now. All we need is music. Let's get that pumping. Shardal, how are you doing?
Hi, Cy. I'm doing great.
Good.
How are you doing on this Sunday night as the Los Angeles Clippers take down the Golden State Warriors by final score 115-110 from the Intuit Dome in downtown Inglewood, California, the house that Steve Ballmer built? What were your thoughts on the performance by the Warriors tonight?
I'm worried about you. You sound like you have a cold, Shardal. Is that true?
I don't have a cold.
Oh, you sound stuffed up.
No, I don't have a cold.
Okay. Do you feel okay?
I feel fantastic.
Oh, good. All right. How was your Great America seminar that you have to do?
My department training went really well today. I'm really excited to make a lot of new friends when I go back to work. It's gonna be a really great time. I'm gonna build a lot of great moments. But Great America closed today at 3 p.m. because of the rain. The rain messed everything up.
Yeah, we got a
The
storm
park was
hitting us
supposed to
here.
open. The park was supposed to be open till 6 p.m. today, but just because of the rain, because I hate the rain and rain messes everything up, and all the rides were closed. The park closed 3 hours early.
Okay. What are you gonna do? Are you ready to Shardal? Some requests in our chat. A man or woman who goes by the handle Smelly Garage Fluids claimed they're Mark Jones. You made me laugh. Congrats on that. Saying, find out. None of this matters with Shardal. All we want to know is whether or not your dance instructor has an OnlyFans. Shardal, does your dance instructor have an OnlyFans?
My dance instructor does not have an OnlyFans.
Like you're choking up, like you sound stuffed up. Something's going on with you. Like, did you lose your voice because you went to a game the other night and this is the residual?
While I was watching the Warriors and Clippers game today, I was screaming on the top of my lungs.
Because of this game?
Because of this game, I was screaming so loud on top of my lungs that I almost lost my voice.
Ooh, so that's 2 shows in a row. Well, does your dance instructor, this person's kidding. Your dance instructor probably doesn't have an OnlyFans, but it does draw my curiosity. Does your dance instructor have an OnlyFans account?
My dance instructor does not have an OnlyFans. I'm making that up. So that's not true.
What are you making up? You confused me. What do you mean?
My dance instructor does not have an OnlyFans.
Okay. And you're making that up, which means she does have an OnlyFans?
She doesn't have an OnlyFans.
Okay, so you previously made up that she might have.
I previously made it up that she had one, but she doesn't really have one.
When is your next dance lesson?
My next dance lesson is this Tuesday.
Oh, are you excited?
I'm very excited.
When you go to the the way you said that was weird. When you go to these dance lessons, funny though. When you go to these dance lessons, Shardal, how many instructors are in the class?
There's a bunch of instructors in the class, and we get to choose which instructor we wanna have a lesson with.
So who
And
are you?
I like the female instructors I like to have a lesson with.
Well, that part goes without saying, right? But what about like which one of the female dance instructors are going to pick for this Tuesday?
So I'm gonna call in and I'm gonna see which instructors are available, and then I'll book it with one of them. But I love all the instructors I dance with are all phenomenal in their own way. I mean, none of them are bad. Like, they're all great. I love dancing with each one of those instructors, but I'll call and I'll see who's available. But hopefully I can find a really good one I want to dance with.
All right, I hope so too. For your sake, are you ready to go through the scores? Every team played. It's going to be another really long one. Are you ready?
So I'm ready to go over the scoreboard and wrap up the show for the night.
Beautiful. How was your appearance on 95.7 The Game tonight?
My appearance on 95.7 was really good, and it was Mark Grandy tonight.
It's been a lot of Mark Grandy lately.
No, it's Evan Giddings for the past couple of shows, and now it's Mark Grandy. So it looks like Evan Giddings and Mark Grandy are swapping places.
Well, all I know is when you were here with us on Friday, it was also Mark Grandy. So maybe Evan was the two before that. Maybe. But I
think Evan was the two.
Okay.
So when we end the show for tonight, are we gonna go over the play-in tournament? How the play-in tournament's looking like?
Yes. Yeah, because it's official now, so we can spell out what's coming up. So let's go through the scores. There were a whole bunch of them, and then we'll lay out how the postseason's going to look.
So I'm ready to go over the scoreboard and wrap up the show for the night. There's a lot of great games that we're going over today on the slate. So if you have any questions about any of these games, please put any of your comments in the chat, please. We would love to read your comments live on the air.
Yeah, baby. All right, we start with the game we were talking about a moment ago in Boston, where the Celtics took care of business, beating the Orlando Magic tonight, a final 113-108. Baylor Shireman, 30 points, 7 rebounds, 7 assists. In the win, the second-year player of Baylor Shireman, Paolo Banchero, 23 points, 10 rebounds, 11 assists, the triple-double in the loss for the Magic, who finished the season 45-37. The Celtics finished the season 56-26. Final in Cleveland, where the Cavaliers played the Wizards today, a final score of 130-117. We're going to have a lot of no-namers on this one tonight, Chardol. Naquan Tomlin, an undrafted rookie with 26 points, 8 rebounds in the win for the Cavaliers, while
I don't understand when you look at the NBA and all these players that are in the NBA right now. All of them are a bunch of randos. Like, some of the players I know, and other players are like I don't even recognize who this player is, and then I have to go and research him online to see who he is. So I don't follow the NBA that much where I know every single player. Like, some players are familiar to me, and some players are not.
Charlotte, this year is a tough one for any even hardcore diehard fan, because when you have a third of the league tanking the way they're doing, they're intentionally stacking their rosters with guys that we're probably never going to see again. So this year has had an abnormal number of names that are unfamiliar to us. Case in point, the Washington Wizards, their top performer tonight, Jameer Watkins, the team's not their second round pick, but a second round pick. He's a rookie, and he was drafted in the second round this past year by the Utah Jazz. I don't know how he ended up on the Wizards, but he scored 24 points in the loss for Washington, who finishes the season 17-65. That is a league worst. The Cavaliers finished the year 52-30. And we're going to get a lot of obscure names today, Chardol, because a lot of teams are tanking. A lot of teams are resting for the postseason. So be prepared. Case in point, the Pistons and the Pacers played. Detroit winning that one today, a final 133-121. The Pistons finished the year with 60 wins. Finishing with a record of 60-22, Paul Reed was the top performer for the Pistons tonight. 26 points, 6 rebounds, 3 steals in the win. The Indiana Pacers dropping to 19-63. Their top performer tonight, Quentin Jackson, 21 points, 8 assists, 3 steals. Yeah.
So the Indiana Pacers have finished with one of the worst records in the NBA with the record of 19 wins and 63 losses. And Rick Carlisle might get fired from the Pacers. You never know.
No, not this year. Not this year. Because they were tanking, so there wouldn't be a. They wouldn't fire him, Chardal, only because they just made the NBA Finals last year, and he's one of the more respected coaches in the game. You never know, though. You're right. You never know. But I wouldn't count on that.
Rick Carlisle might get fired.
He might.
But
you're right.
Because their record is so awful.
I know, but they're tanking.
They finished the season 19 wins and 63 losses. That's the worst record for the Pacers.
Chardal, do you know that? Did you know the Sacramento Kings are going to keep their coach?
The Sacramento Kings should keep Doug Christie. I think Doug Christie is a phenomenal head coach, and I think the Kings should keep him.
All right. Why do you think Doug Christie is a phenomenal coach, but not Rick Carlisle?
Doug Christie is a better head coach than Rick Carlisle.
All right. A final in Miami tonight, where the Heat defeated the Atlanta Hawks, 143-117. The final, Miami improving to 43-39. That's their final record on the season. The Hawks finished with a 46-36 record. Bam Adebayo, 25 points, 10 rebounds, 3 steals in the win for Miami. Former Golden State Warrior Buddy Hield dropping 31 in the loss for the Hawks. Yes, Chardal.
Sai, we should go together to Magic City in Atlanta, Georgia, and we should have the Lou Will lemon pepper chicken wings, and I watch some pole dancers go up and down the pole.
Will your dad pay for the trip?
My dad would pay for the trip, and then we would go to Magic City in Atlanta, Georgia.
If your dad's paying, let's go. Final.
If my dad pays, do you want to go if my dad pays for the trip?
I'll consider it. A final in New York at Madison Square Garden, where the Charlotte Hornets came out victorious tonight, 110-96. The final. LaMelo Ball, 19 points, 7 rebounds, 6 assists in the win. Jose Alvarado, 16 points, 7 assists in the loss for the Knicks, who finished the season with a 53-29 record. The Hornets finished the year 44-38. Charlotte is going to be a good team for many years to come. Health provided. A final.
You know the G League uniforms that the Greensboro Swarm wear. They look very identical to the jerseys that the Charlotte Hornets wear.
Oh, did not know that. I didn't even know that the Hornets G League affiliate.
The Hornets G League affiliate is the Greensboro Swarm, and they just won the G League Finals this year.
Good knowledge. A final in Philadelphia where the 76ers beat the Milwaukee Bucks 126-106. The final. Quentin Grimes, 20 points in the win. Here's another guy I've never heard of until today. Cormac Ryan. Who the hell is Cormac?
I have never heard about these players in my life before. Why does the NBA have all these random players nobody's ever even heard of? What is up with the NBA? Come on, NBA. Why do you have so many randos? Get all these random players out.
Cormac Ryan, an undrafted rookie who's 27 years old. But he's the top performer for your Bucks tonight. 22 points. 10 rebounds, and following the game, Doc Rivers fired as head coach of the Bucks. Philadelphia.
The Milwaukee Bucks had all the players on the roster. When I looked at the final score for the Bucks game, the only players that were familiar to me were Thanasis Antetokounmpo and Alex Antetokounmpo, two of the Antetokounmpo brothers. But all the and AJ Green was phenomenal. But all the other players are random players on the Bucks today.
There's a lot of random players everywhere. A final. The Bucks finished the season with a 32-50 record. Philly finishes the year with a 45-37 record. And again, we'll go over the play-in tournament and the postseason in just a moment. A final in Toronto where the Raptors defeated the Brooklyn Nets tonight, 136-101 today. Scotty Barnes, 18 points, 12 rebounds, 12 assists in the win. That's a triple-double, while not Cam Johnson. Who's Steve Johnson for the Nets? It's Chaney Johnson. Let me see where Chaney came from. Chaney Johnson, another undrafted rookie. We're naming a bunch of those tonight. Chaney Johnson, 16 points, 13 rebounds in the loss. The Raptors finished the year 46-36. Brooklyn finishes the 2026 season 20-62. A final in Dallas. The one interconference game today. It was the Mavericks and Bulls.
Doubles.
Good job. The Mavericks dropping 149 points in winning tonight over the Bulls. They finished the season 26-56. The Bulls finished the year 31-51. Ryan Nembhard leading the Mavericks tonight with 15 points, 9 rebounds, and I'm not making this stat up, 23 assists. 20 more than Pajemski typically gets in a night. And the Bulls, here's another guy I've never heard of before. Lachlan Ulbrich, a second-round pick this past season of the LA Lakers. I don't know how he ended up on the Bulls, but he was the top performer for Chicago tonight with 10 points, 15 rebounds, and 10 assists, the triple-double for, I already forgot his first name, for Lachlan Ulbrich. Chardal, that's your favorite player, right?
I don't even know who that player is.
Lachlan Ulbrich.
I don't even know who that player really
Yeah,
is.
you do. You have his poster on your wall. Come on.
No, I don't have his poster in my
I'm
room.
I'm teasing. Chardal,
Why are you teasing me?
Because it's just using sarcasm.
You bring humor to the show.
Well, that is humor.
And
I'm
I
sorry
like
you
it.
Did not, I know you didn't find it humorous.
I did not find it humorous.
I know. It's okay. You'll get over it, I promise. A final score.
Why do you keep getting under? Why do you keep doing that to me?
I don't keep doing it to you. When else have I done it to you tonight?
No, but you said something. I didn't find it to be humorous, but you found it to be humorous.
Chardal, you have a hard time picking up sarcasm.
I can't understand sarcasm.
And look, that's okay, but don't. My only advice to you is just try not to let it get under your skin, because
It does get under my skin once in a while.
I know, but that one shouldn't. That was a very lighthearted joke. There was nothing personal in that attack. A final score in Houston, a 132-101. The Rockets were winners today, whenever, over the Memphis Grizzlies, who finished the year with a 25-57 record. The Rockets finished the season with a 52-30 record. Clint Capella, 23 points, 13 rebounds, 3 blocks in the win. Here's another guy I have no idea of in terms of who he is. Ryan Rupert.
So Ryan Rupert played 42 minutes tonight.
Wow.
He had 21 points, 5 assists, 12 rebounds. He was 5 assists shy of a triple-double tonight for Ryan Rupert. He is the brother of Ilyana Rupert, who plays with the Golden State Valkyries.
Oh, okay. Well, there you go.
So Ryan Rupert and Ilyana Rupert are related. They're siblings.
Very nice. Good information there, Chardal.
Did you not know that?
No.
Did you not know that Ryan Rupert and Ilyana Rupert are siblings in real life? They're actually brother and sister.
No, I didn't know that.
You didn't know that? So I told you something. See, you know everything. You know. See, this is the good thing about me coming on the show. You learn new things every single day.
There you go.
That's the good thing about me coming on here, me being the closer.
Good job. A final in Minnesota. The Timberwolves beating the Pelicans tonight. A final score of 132-126. Joan. Is that his first name?
Who's Joan? Who's Joan?
Well, his last name is Behringer. He was the Timberwolves' first round pick this past season. Very young, so he hasn't gotten a lot of run. But I don't know if his first name is. It's spelled Joan, but I can't imagine. Is it Joan? Is it Juan? I don't know. Whatever it is, he was the top performer for Minnesota tonight.
It's Joan. It's Joan Behringer.
That's the proper
It is Joan. It is Joan.
Okay, Joan.
You got it right.
Behringer.
You got it right.
Thank you, sir. 24 points, 13 rebounds, 7 blocks In the win, Derek Queen, 30 points, 22 rebounds. In the loss for the Pelicans, who finished the season 26-56. Minnesota finishes the season 49-33. A final in OKC where the Suns beat the Thunder tonight, 135-103. And I don't know who this Thunder player is. His name is Brandon Carlson. Sorry, a 26-year-old rookie 7-footer for the Thunder. He was their top performer tonight. 26 points, 10 rebounds, 5 blocks. While Jemare Bouye, I believe he played at USF, right? He was the top performer for the Suns tonight with 27 points and 9 assists. The Suns finished the year with a 45-37 record. The Thunder finished with a 64-18 record. Yeah, Shardal.
Joan Behringer on the Minnesota Timberwolves. He reminds me of Rudy Gobert 2.0. Because he's also from France as well. Joan Behringer.
Relentless Attitude in the chat wants to know, do you think the Warriors will win?
The Golden State Warriors will win the NBA Finals this year, and it's gonna be 4-0 sweep.
Well, there you go. There you go. And T. Kubler in our chat providing some additional context for Joan Behringer. He's French. It's not Joan Chardal. It's according to T. Kubler, it's pronounced Johan Bedenjay.
I don't say Johan. I say Joan.
Bedenjay.
I say
Johan Bedenjay.
Johan Berenjay.
Yes.
Is Rudy Gobert 2.0 on the Minnesota Timberwolves. Rudy Gobert is of French ethnicity. Johan Berenjay is also of French ethnicity as well.
Hamza is asking if there's a show Friday. Am I going to be mad? Only if they win Friday night. I will be a little peeved, yes. Going back to the scoreboard, a final in San Antonio, where the Denver Nuggets finished the season, I believe, with a 12-game winning streak. Let me confirm that real fast. Hold on, where the hell is it? Denver Nuggets. How many wins did they finish the year with? Let me check. Okay, so they finished the season. Yeah, 12-game winning streak. Sorry, it took so long to confirm that. With a 128-118 win tonight over the San Antonio Spurs. Pivotal game for the Nuggets because the win clinches the 3 seed for them. The Lakers were in the running for that. But the Nuggets take care of business. They're the 3 seed. Nikola Jokic, 23 points, 8 rebounds in the win. De'Aaron Fox, 24 points, 6 rebounds in the loss. The Spurs finished the season with a 62-20 record. The Nuggets finished the season with a 54-28 record. 2 more games. We're almost there, Chardal. A final in LA where the Lakers beat the Jazz tonight, 131-107. DeAndre Ayton, 22 points, 10 rebounds, 3 blocks in the win. I have no idea how to pronounce the name of the last name, at least, of the top performer for the Jazz. A second-year player, undrafted out of Kentucky. His name is Oscar Tshiebwe. Chardal, how do you pronounce Oscar?
Oscar Tshiebwe. Oscar Tshiebwe.
His last name is spelled Tshie, B as in boy, W-E.
It's Oscar Tshiebwe.
Tshiebwe or Tshiebwe. I'm guessing the T's silent. I could be wrong.
Bronny James is a useless fucking dumbass. I don't know what's worse than his heart. Is it his heart or his fucking brain?
Hold on, shut up.
And he's effing atrocious. Bronny James.
What time was the chat that riled you up?
No, Bronny James. I watch Awful Coaching on Bronny James, and Awful Coaching went off on Bronny James saying that he's Bronny James was one of the most useless fucking dumbasses in NBA history. He's fucking atrocious, and he's the son of an NBA Hall of Famer, LeBron James.
I saw that too. Awful Coaching, I love you. I need to bring Awful Coaching back on the show.
When I watched that video of Awful Coaching when he talked about Bronny James, I laughed my balls off watching that when he talked about how atrocious Bronny James is on the court when he's playing here. He throws a pass like he's trying to be like Magic Johnson.
He is funny. The only reason why I haven't brought awful coaching on the show more often is because we kind of know what he's going to say. He has a very similar opinion about every NBA coach, but damn is the man comical.
When I went to the Lakers and Warriors game in Chase Center, Bronny James was on the court. He shouldn't be on the Lakers, man. He's atrocious, man. They should cut him from the Lakers.
Okay. And
no, you don't like Bronny James as a player?
I don't think he's great.
He's awful. He's atrocious. I don't like him at all. I don't like the Lakers in general.
And then a final. Oh no! Real quick here, the Lakers finished the season 53-29. The Jazz finished the season 22-60. Shibwe, however you pronounce his last name, he had 29 points, 17 rebounds in this one, and one final score in this one is very pertinent to your Golden State Warriors. The Portland Trailblazers, 122-110 winners tonight over the Sacramento Kings. Denny Avdia, 25 points, 6 rebounds, 10 assists in the win. Nick Clifford, 24 points, 7 rebounds in the loss for the Kings, who finished the season with a 22-60 record. Portland finishes the season with a 42-40 record. I want to play this soundbite real quick. Sure.
So the Portland Trailblazers play the Sacramento Kings tonight. So the scenario would have been if the Portland Trailblazers lose and the LA Clippers beat the Warriors, it would have been Blazers and Warriors in the play-in tournament.
Correct, but that didn't happen.
The Portland Trailblazers won, and the Clippers won. So it doesn't matter.
Give me 1 second here. I want to play this.
Tournament.
Okay, Shuttle, I want to play this soundbite real quick here. 1 second. This is Stephen Curry, and this soundbite is courtesy of Anthony Slater talking after the game. Turn the volume up on your devices so you can hear this clearly. And here is Stephen Curry talking about finishing the season as a 10 seed and having a potential one-game elimination game to look forward to. Here is Stephen Curry talking to the media from his locker. And there's Danny Emmerman right there. That is Dalton Johnson right there. And I forgot her name. She's always with the Warriors. Anyways, here's Stephen Curry.
The plan was created, but this is the type of season where you guys would be eliminated long ago if it wasn't created.
Yeah, we got bit by in the first one, right? We're the AC. Was this the third or fourth time?
That you've been in it? Fourth, yeah.
So we lost the first one.
Last year you were in it. Kings game a couple years ago.
We were not
At the last game.
You were 10 that year, I guess.
We've been 10 twice.
That's right. Yeah.
I guess, you're grateful for it now just because you have one game and then hopefully another game to keep your season alive. This is such a unique year just because of the way it's gone. It's not like you've underperformed. You've just been hit with so many injuries that your expectations had to shift because of, availability. So, and then the trade deadline, we made a move and, we're scratching and clawing, trying to get as many guys back, to play in time to make, that this playing game on Wednesday worth it. So I'm excited to have another game for sure. But, you came into the year with different mindset, but now you gotta adjust.
And for the Warriors' sake, for everybody's sake, lose that game, please. Go into the postseason with a lottery pick. Shardal, are you ready to explore the standings?
I've been a diehard Golden State Warriors fan for 10 plus years. I love going to Chase Center. I love going to the Warrior games. I'm a diehard fan of this team. I'm a big Stephen Curry fan. So the Warriors are going to be playing the Clippers in the play-in tournament, right?
Correct.
And I'm very nervous about that because I don't know what's going to happen. I mean, Clippers are such a great team. They got they got so many great players on their roster. I mean, I hope Kawhi Leonard doesn't come back when
He's coming
Warriors
back.
play the Clippers in LA.
He's coming back.
Because Kawhi Leonard is a dominant force, and anytime we play Kawhi Leonard, he's always doing something out of the ordinary and putting us into a tough spot. So I hope we beat Kawhi and the Clippers, and we win that first playing game, and then we play another playing game. We face off. We play the loser of the Suns and the Blazers. So yeah, I hope we take down the Clippers on Wednesday, man. Because if we lose that one game against the Clippers, our season's over, man. So we gotta play strong. We gotta come into LA. We gotta show LA that we're not afraid of coming into another team's building. We gotta beat them, man. Like, how optimistic do you think you are? Like, I know you're the biggest Warriors fan on this channel, man. How optimistic do you feel about Clippers coming into about the Warriors going to LA, taking down the Clippers, and then they're going to be facing off the loser against the Phoenix Suns and the Portland Trail Blazers to get that number 8 seed to face OKC in the first round.
I feel just like the bettors. The line on FanDuel started with the Clippers favored by 3.5. It's already gone up since that time during this show. It's now Clippers -4. Don't be surprised if that line finishes somewhere around 6 or 7. And my prediction is the Clippers will win handily. The Warriors have not won at the Clippers since November of 2021 for good reason. I just think the Clippers are a far better team, and I hope the Warriors are smart enough to know that winning that game does no good. So, but my prediction is the Clippers will win handily, and I like the line when it was 3.5. It's already going up. So my advice to the gamblers out there: take that Clippers line while you can, as it keeps escalating. The money line for the Warriors was +140 about an hour ago. It's now up to +148. So if you're optimistic about the Warriors, put your money where your mouth is and bet on them. This is the bracket right here. If you're watching on YouTube, if you're listening on the podcast, we'll articulate it. So in the play-in tournament, we'll start in the East. It's going to be Charlotte as the 9 seed, hosting Miami as the 10 seed. And then the
could you make it a little bigger?
As the Charlotte, hold on. And then the Sixers as the 7 seed host the Orlando Magic, the 8 seed, while in the West, the 9-seeded Clippers host the 10-seeded Warriors. The 7th-seeded Suns host the 8-seeded Blazers. Yes, Shirtle.
Could you make it a little bigger? I can't see. It's too small for my eyes.
If I make it any bigger, then we start to hide things like on the
so.
Let me see if I can. That's the biggest I can make it.
So OKC is gonna face off against the Warriors, Lakers, Rockets, Nuggets, Timberwolves, Spurs.
Well, first of all, I'll get to that in a second. First of all, what are your predictions for the play-in? Who's gonna win Hornets and Heat?
I got the Heat taking down the Hornets.
Okay, so if that happens, Miami would then await the loser of the Sixers and the Magic. What do you think's going to happen there?
So I'm saying Heat's going to beat the Hornets, and then Heat's going to take beat the and then the Sixers are going to beat the Magic. So then it's going to be Detroit and Philly in the first round.
All right, and so under that scenario, no, that is not correct. Under that scenario, if Philly won, they would play the Celtics in the first round. Detroit would play the winner of Miami and Orlando. So that's how it would go in the
So
East.
it will be Detroit and Orlando, and then it will be Boston and Philly.
You think Orlando is going to beat Miami in the second game?
Orlando's going to beat Miami in the second round.
Okay, yeah, then that's how it would go. And then in the West, if the Clippers, who do you think is going to win between the Clippers and the Warriors?
It's going to be Warriors are going to win 127 to 124.
Look at you. Not going with multiples of 5. Well, let's say that happened. If the Warriors won that game against the Clippers, they would play the loser of the Suns and the Blazers. Who do you think wins that game?
I'm going with the Suns winning that game.
Okay, so if that happened, the Suns would play the 2-seeded San Antonio Spurs, while the top seed OKC Thunder would await the winner of Portland hosting the Warriors. Who wins that game?
I'm going Warriors.
Okay, so under that scenario, The Warriors are no longer a draft lottery team. They dropped 4 places in the draft to the 15th pick, and their prize for that is a first-round matchup with the OKC Thunder. And then now we go to the first round of the playoffs, where under this scenario that Chardal presented, you'd have OKC playing the 8th seed, which again, if the Warriors win 2 play-in games, that's what the first round matchup would be for OKC. The Spurs would then play the Suns in the first round. The 3-seeded Nuggets are going to host the 6-seeded Timberwolves in the first round. The 4th-seeded Lakers are going to host the 5th-seeded Rockets in the first round. Do you have predictions for those 2 series, Chardal?
So I'm going to be going with the Rockets taking down the Lakers. I'm going with the Rockets winning in 5 games, and I'm going with the Minnesota Timberwolves taking down the Nuggets. I'm going with them winning that game, winning that series in 6 games.
Who wins between San Antonio and Phoenix?
I'm going with the Spurs taking down the Suns. I'm going with them winning that series in 4 games.
A sweep. Who wins between OKC and the Warriors?
I'm going with the Warriors taking down OKC. I'm going with them winning that series in 4 games.
A sweep.
A sweep for the Warriors.
Okay. And then, so if that happened, then the conference semifinals in the West would have the Rockets and the Warriors would play in one conference semi, and you'd have the Timberwolves and the Spurs playing in the other semi. Meanwhile, in the East, Chardal, who do you have winning between Detroit and Orlando?
I'm going with the Orlando Magic taking down the Pistons. I'm going with them winning in 7 games.
You're just all about the upsets. And then what about the Celtics if they played Philly?
I'm going with the Philadelphia 76ers taking down the Celtics. I'm going with them winning that series in 7 games.
All right. And what about Cavaliers and Raptors?
I'm going with the Cleveland Cavaliers taking down the Raptors in 4 games.
And Knicks and Hawks?
I'm going with the Knicks taking down the Atlanta Hawks. I'm going with the Knicks winning that series in 6 games.
All right. So those are Chardal's predictions. We'll be back live on Tuesday with Dime Dropper. We're going to preview Warriors and Clippers and maybe have a good debate because Dime, last time we had a exchange, he was like, I love Steve Kerr. What are you talking about? And I was like, can we have that discussion on a show? He said, yes. I'm looking forward to it. He thinks Steve Kerr is a great coach, so should be fun. Chardal, always a pleasure. Relentless Attitude, Chardal, wants to know your opinion. Do you think Steve Kerr's small ball strategy is the reason why they win the finals so easily this year?
I think Steve Kerr's small ball strategy is the reason why they win the finals so easily every single year.
Oh, there you go. Hope that answered your question, Relentless Attitude. And you proved Money Checkup wrong. Money Checkup thought you were going to predict the Clippers to win 150-100. You're predicting the Warriors to win. What was the score again? Do you remember? I do. Do you remember the score that you predicted?
The score I predicted: Warriors 127, Clippers 124.
Very good.
Warriors win by 3. I'm no longer in terms of 5. I always say that they win in terms of 5.
All right, and that's it. We'll be back on Tuesday. This NBA season,
make sure
is over. Yeah,
viewers, make sure to subscribe to Golden Days in reference to the 1993 Matthew McConaughey movie Dazed and Confused. Cyrus is at 5,220 subscribers. He's on.
Where are you at now? Where are you at right now?
I am at 534 subscribers.
So we haven't built that up yet.
And I'm on the road to 600. So both of us have lost subscribers.
Well, I don't know if I did, but I know I'm not.
No, you have lots of subscribers. You were at 5,220. Now you're at 5,120. I was at 535. Now I'm at 534.
You're saying I lost 100?
No, I didn't know. No, I didn't say you lost.
Stop with it. Just my recommendation is just don't touch that.
Okay. It's.
Don't worry about it. Chardal. Just let's focus on your channel and try and get your sub back. Because you lost 1, right?
I lost 1.
Okay, so we're trying to build that back up, correct? No,
so viewers,
you don't want to build that back up.
I want to build that up. So viewers, make sure to subscribe to Golden Days and also make sure to subscribe to the SGA Sports Talk channel. I'm at 534 subscribers, 66 subs away from 600. So if you like all my content, if you like Sharks content, Warriors content, Giants content, Niners content, if you like various sports, if you're a big fan of various sports, you like me, please go over there and give me a like, give me a follow. It'll really help out the YouTube algorithm a lot.
There you go.
And it's always great that you make me the closer. And
are you gonna join us Wednesday
and
night?
I'll see you on Wednesday night for the play-in game between the Clippers and the Warriors. And
All right,
hopefully the Warriors win both of those games in the play-in tournament, and we face OKC in the first round. And we face OKC in the first round.
Shardal, hopefully not.
The Warriors will win both of those playing games, and we'll face OKC in the first round.
Okay, you can hope for that. I'm not hoping for that.
I want to face OKC in the first. I want to see SGA against Steph Curry.
You really think Steph has a shot, huh?
Steph has a shot of outshining SGA.
I'm most looking forward to your review of your most recent dance instruction. So we'll hear about that on Wednesday. When do you start working at a Great America?
So I start working in a week. So I start working around on the 19th of April.
So folks, if you want to meet Shardal, go to Great America and find him in the game section where that's where you work, right?
I work
you
in the game
section.
I bounce around in the game section.
Yeah, get a picture taken with them. Would you take pictures with people if they asked?
I take pictures with people if they ask.
Would you sign autographs?
I would not sign autographs.
Why?
No.
Why?
I can't. I can take photos, but I can't.
Wait, so it's a work policy where they tell employees that you can't sign autographs?
It's a work policy.
Okay. Well, there you go, folks. You can get his autograph, but you can get
a photo and a photo.
All right.
So it's always great that you make me the closer. I really love that you give me that recognition of making me the last person to close out the show for the night.
Thanks for being Thanks for being the closer.
I love being a closer on Golden Days.
We love having you as the closer.
How was the call today? Was this the best call? You should snip this call and put it on YouTube so people will subscribe to me, show me all the love. Because this might be my best call.
How about I also blast it on all socials? How about I just clip the end and blast that everywhere? Does that sound good to you?
This might be my best call. You should snip this and make a little short out of it.
All right, sure. Thanks,
I'll see
everybody.
You on Wednesday. I'll see you on Wednesday night for the Warriors and Clippers playing game. Let's win both games. Let's face OKC. I'll see you on Wednesday, man. It's an honor to be on your show, and I'll see you on Wednesday.